I think illiquid marks are like the elephant in the room. Like we have like roughly 50% liquid, 50% illiquid, and most people are in that range. And so university endowments are higher. And actually, like the endowments just came out, a lot of them, like Yale, and I think one or two others just in the last week came out with their June 30 numbers. They were all down like 1 or 2%. And it's because these like bad marks are like trickling in. Even though stocks were up in the 12 months ended June, our fund did 5.8 because our stocks, I forget the exact number, but stocks were up. And we're starting to see like really bad marks coming in on venture. And it's hard to have a handle on it because when you talk to the venture and private equity managers, they're very optimistic. They don't like to acknowledge issues early, I've found. So like we have one venture company in particular that we co-invested with like a name brand venture fund, and we had 150 million invested, held at 250. And we put 10 million into their last round about a year ago at a $3.5 billion valuation. They just raised money at 200 million pre. So we've got like a 90% write down on 250 coming through on one investment. That will show up in our numbers like in December. And so I can't really tell it to what extent they're going to trickle in, but I feel like on venture, there's like enormous downside. You know, like the stocks that are corollaries to these companies are down 60 or 70%. And I don't have complete data, but you know, our portfolio, our private equity portfolio, which includes ventures, like 19% of our fund and about a third of our NAV's venture. Like I gotta think that there's some downside, and we're starting to see some come through, but there's a lot of like can kicking, like that $3.5 billion round I just mentioned that happened last year was all inside people. It was flat from the year before. So they kind of kicked the can. Now they've exhausted the insiders and they need to raise real third-party capital at a real mark. And I think there's a lot of that happening right now, but it's like so anecdotal that I can't quantify it.